lesson in the book. Just kidding. So I'm going to teach this about 50 different ways, and then you can pick one that is your favorite. Okay? Now, here's the idea. Oftentimes, we have encountered problems like this. And how do you solve it?
Factoring.
You try and factor, so you're trying to find two numbers that multiply to make 4 and add to make negative 3. What are those two numbers? X minus... Come on, guys.
X minus 4, X plus 1.
X minus 4, X plus 1. So then X equals, whenever this is 0, so X equals 4, or when this is 0, X equals negative 1. What I'm saying is that I can plug in 4 for X and get 0 out, right? 16 minus 12 plus 4. That's wrong. What did I do wrong?
Nothing, it's
I'm
just
pretty
those
sure
numbers
it's
-2 and -1.
4 times 1 is 4.
Oh, no, I'm trying.
This should be minus. There we go. That's the problem I solved. Okay, cool. Sorry, I messed all of you up. So, if I plug in 4, I should get 16 minus 12 minus 4, which is 0. And if I plug in negative 1, I should get 1 plus 4. That's the problem I solved. Okay. How does the 4 work again? 16.
No, it's now up.
No. Sure, just try again. I completely.
What did I do? I don't even know what.
You pick like the two numbers that don't work together.
Okay, way number 2.
Okay, we're trying this over again.
Way number
Restart the
1.
whole lesson. Cut. Redo.
Dang
Okay.
it.
Plus 4 equals 0.
Part of the tree.
Minus 5x. Does that work? 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so we're going to factor this now. X minus 4, x minus 1 equals 0. And then x equals 4 or 1. If I plug in 4, 16 minus 20 plus 4 is 0. If I plug in 1 minus 5 plus 4 is also 0. Now, what if A, you are too lazy to do that? To like think through the numbers, or B, what if you are unable to figure out a combination that works? Or what if there isn't a friendly number as the answer, much like the last 4 problems that I just gave you?
Yes.
Then we must use other methods to determine the value of x that will satisfy this equation. And the lesson today is called completing the square. Now, why is this a horrible lesson, as one of you noted? Because it will go on and haunt you forever, or at least through calculus and your math education. So, this is involved in everything. Everything like circles and satellite dishes and I don't know, rocket science, and I'm picking all the stuff that I work with.
Oh, that's so cool.
Your car, like everything has these types of equations that you have to solve. Anytime you throw something, that's this equation, okay? And so we use this method to really determine the solutions for any equation that has an x squared in it, okay? Now, I'm gonna give you like the super basic, easiest way to do this possible, and then we will build upon it, and I will show you, like some of you are gonna wanna know, why are we doing these random steps? And then some of you are gonna be like, I don't care, give me the steps. And then some of you are gonna be like, I don't care about either of those. So I'm gonna teach us like 8 different ways, and then you can pick the one that works for you. Sound like a plan? Woot. Okay, this is the easy way. Okay? For those like mathletes, you should be taking notes.
I should.
For those mathletes in the room, you're gonna hate this. Okay, step 1. I want all x's on one side, everything else on the other side. So that means that I'm going to have, if I start with x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0, I'm going to move the plus 4 to the other side. So I get x squared minus 5x equals negative 4. Okay? Step 2. This is horrible. Are you ready? You're going to take the number in front of the x. You're going to divide it by 2, and you're going to square it. Don't ask me why. I'll explain later. And you add that to both sides. So, what's the number in front of the x?
5, 1.
Negative 5. Correct? I'm going to take negative 5, divide it by 2, and square that. That is what? 25 over, come on guys, 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 25 fourths to both sides. Ask me why.
No idea.
Ask me why. You know you want to.
Why? Why do we do that?
I'll tell you later. So, we are now going to add that to both sides. Gross?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Then, you are going to do the following. This is mysteriously going to become x plus whatever that is. Gross? Yeah. So whatever this number is, you're going to put that there. And that's going to become x plus that squared. Why is it called completing the square? Because we completed this square thing. This is horrible. This is the worst step ever. Okay, you ready? This is x minus 5/2 squared equals this right side. Now, if you don't believe me, that's fine. You can simply multiply it out yourself. X times x is x squared. X times negative 5/2 is negative 5/2. Negative 5/2 times x is negative 5/2 x. 5/2 times 5/2 is 25/4. So you have x squared plus 5x, or x squared minus 5x plus 25 over 4. This is that. They're one and the same. They just are. How did I get that? I'll show you later for those people who will actually care. But if you're just like, I need to know the steps and I'll do it and that's it, this is what you do. So you take the number in front of the x, divide it by 2 and square it, add that to both sides, and you end up with this. Now, the whole point of this problem is to solve for x. Remember we started that earlier? We were like, oh, we want x equals something. So how do I get from that to solving for x? Well, first of all, that's fine. How do I undo a squared? That's your real question. Well, you take the square root of both sides. It's gross. That's fine. This is the easy way. Okay, when you take the square root, you must remember the plus minus. If you're not taking notes now, you're gonna fail. I mean, that's basically it. So good luck. Okay? Or you're gonna have to rewatch the video like a million times to even hopefully remember what we're talking. Anyways. Okay, when you take the square root of both sides, you're left with x minus 5/2 equals plus or minus that thing. Now, can I simplify that?
Maybe.
Sure, right? Like I can get a common denominator. You can do this in any one of these steps. So this is 25 minus 16, which is,
Negative
9/4.
9/4. Take the square root of 9/4, you get 3/2. Yeah,
A negative number actually doesn't have a square root because,
it's not a negative number, it's a positive number.
well, the
Negative
4,
16 plus 25 is positive 9.
uh,
So it will be a positive number. So you have to evaluate inside. Okay? So that's that. Now, solve for x. How do you solve for x? You add 5/2.
5/2 too, yeah.
Now, what does this plus minus do? Well, it either means you add, so 5/2 plus 3/2 is,
8/2, or, yeah,
or you subtract 5 minus 3, which is,
2, or 1.
are we surprised?
yay, it's from a plural.
Hey, we did that problem that took us 2 steps in all of this.
Is this how they solved it the first time?
No, they solved it by factoring the
Oh,
first
then-
time. But,
Don't you also have to, like, check
no,
your work for
you don't
that?
have to check.
Oh,
Okay.
thank goodness.
Okay. Because you didn't square both sides, you square rooted both sides. So you're fine.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
Wait,
Don't ask the why question.
no.
You should.
I'm confused on the third step. What's it called? What you wrote next?
Where you just like, it.
Yeah, like that part that you wrote next to number 3. Like, what did you say goes to the
That
pink
thing.
line?
The negative 5/2.
X.
Oh,
divided
okay.
by two.
So whatever was inside that,
That's what you would put right
yeah.
there.
Or it's really the number in front of x divided by 2.
That's square.
Nope, just that. And then you put the
Oh,
whole
and then
thing
you
squared.
put the whole thing.
Okay, so these are the steps. Let me recap really quick. I know there's a lot of questions. I'm going to explain it 3 more times with the exact same problem, so you're going to be frustrated with it by the time it's done. So,
yay.
move all your x's to one side, move your numbers to the other side. You get this. Then, you are trying to complete this thing, the x minus 5/2 squared. We have this term. We have this term. We're missing the third term. So, we make the third term by taking the number in front of x, which is negative 5, dividing it by 2, and squaring it. That gets me 25/4. So I add that to both sides. That gets me my third term. Then I know that this simplifies down to x minus 5/2 squared. Why do you know that? Because I told you so. I will prove it to you in a little bit when we get to the hard version of this problem, okay? But for now, know that you take that number, plug it in there, squared, and leave the other side. At any point, you can add these so it becomes something nice, which is 9/4. From here, we take the square root of both sides, remembering the plus minus, you will always get 2 answers. Always. You do not need your computers for this, so if you're in your computer zone, just close them. Close it, you're fine. 2 solutions. If you get 1, you lose. You're wrong. Absolutely, guaranteed. Nah, maybe not. Okay, anyways. There's a small chance that you could get 1 solution, but you probably won't. Okay, then if this is 0, you get 1 solution. Anyways, then solve for x, and you have your 2 answers. Okay, so this is round 1. Now for the medium difficulty.
Is that
Wait,
medium?
I love medium.
Medium.
Yeah, that was the easy way. That's like if you just want
The
to.
next one.
This is like if you don't care about the math part and you're just like, what steps can I do to get done with my homework and move on with my life? Like you do that and you're done. Okay? Here's like the medium way. Okay? Medium way is you have to at least
Thank you.
have an idea of what you're doing, and then you just do the steps. Okay? So, the medium way is kind of like just do it. Sorry, that's what happens. So, we started with x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0.
Can you write medium?
No. So, here's what you're going to do. It's always the same steps. It's just like a different level of explaining things. You know that you want this to be blank because you need a blank to add something there. So you get rid of the number. Okay? A lot of people like to put a little box here so they remember that they have to put something there. This is your medium way. Fine, Jose, you win. So they put like a little box there. What goes in the box?
Walnut.
That was not helpful.
A number in front of. the
A
X.
number. Excellent. And that number will also end up over here. Now, what number? This number divided by 2 squared. What is that? 25 fourths. It's going to be the same answer as before. This is the same process. We're just showing less work. Okay? If I add something to one side, I have to add it to the other side. Okay. Now, because I don't want to carry all of this, what's negative 4 plus 25 fourths? We already know common denominator is 4. So negative 16 plus 25 is 9. That's correct. Okay, what does this side become? We are completing the perfect square. Our goal is to complete this perfect thing right here so I can take the square root of both sides. Okay? If we had no x term here, I would just move everything to the other side and take the square root, right? But I need something squared so I can take the square root of both sides. Remember our radical? It's radical, man. You have to take the square root of the whole side. That's why we want something squared here. What squared goes here? Well, think about it this way. I already added that thing. The first term has to be x because I'm going to have x times x, which is x squared. My last term has to be the square root of that because I'm going to multiply that times that squared. And I figure out what sign it is from the middle term. So this squared is that, this squared is that, this times 2 is that. If that helps you. Why? I'll tell you on the hard version. Now, take the square root. So you get x minus 5 halves equals 3 halves, plus or minus, and x equals 4 and 1. Okay, so if you get quick at it, the easy way, which is like showing out all of that work, really becomes like almost like barely double the amount of work. There.
Okay, so we're gonna lose points if we do the medium version?
No, that's fine. This is plenty of work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, the hard version is the medium version, but you ask, why? The answer to why questions is hard. On your formulas quiz, you have seen this formula over and over and over again. What is this formula? A squared plus
B squared.
2ab.
It's the same difference.
not the same.
No.
A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Our job with this whole method of solving this problem is to complete the square. We are trying to get, we want this, and we have this. What are we missing?
B squared.
We're missing b squared. Okay, this is the hard version, so if this goes over your head, don't worry, just follow the steps and you'll be fine. Here, we have that, which is our a squared. So what does a equal? What is a?
A equals x.
Oh, hold up.
If a squared is x squared, a is
X. Wow.
x. So every time I see an a here, I could really put x. Yes?
Correct.
If you don't get this, it's okay. But this is like why we do that. Okay. We understand what 2 is, right? We understand what plus and squared is. Do we have b?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
Watch. This term, negative 5x, is 2ab. That's this part, right? Because we have the x squared. So I have x squared minus 5x. And I'm looking for the last term. So if I set these two equal, I can find b. Once I have b, I can find b squared.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Or it doesn't. That's okay too.
No.
So, we have this part. In order to complete the square, we need the b squared part. So, I add b squared to both sides. What is b squared? 25 over 4. So I add 25 over 4 to both sides, and then it completes this beautiful equation here. I have a squared, I have 2ab, and I have b squared. That boils down to a plus b squared. So in this case, I have a plus, what's b? B is negative 5/2. So I have a plus b squared equals whatever this side is. And then you take the square root of both sides. So this is how the method works. This is why it works. That's how it works. Okay? Now we're gonna do like 30 of these. Yep.
Today.
So
Wait, like.
go ahead and get a piece of paper out. Put 1. And we're gonna solve x squared plus 6x minus 4 equals 0. Go. First step. Move the
All the x to one side.
what?
That's my -4.
Negative 4, right?
That's not
Can we write out our formulas first?
What formulas? There's no formula. Let's do it.
There is
no
formula.
Go, go, go.
I'm lost now.
Bro,
I
you're
was
saying
about
things
to
in
I
different
can't
ways
do it
over and
without
over
formulas.
again, and I'm like, wait. it's
Okay,
different.
step 1. Move your x's to one side, move the
Yes.
number to the other side,
Thank
right?
You already
Step
stopped
2.
steps.
I know, but you wrote them, and if you didn't, you were foolish, because
I
I
wrote
told you
them.
write the steps. Okay, next step.
You-
I have it on video. I said, write the things or you will fail. That is exactly what I said. Guaranteed. Okay, next step. Here we go. -6. Divide that by 2. What is that?
9. Wow.
6 divided by 2 is
3.
3. Squared is,
9.
so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Then I'm going to complete the square. What is x squared plus 6x plus 9? It is x plus
3.
Plus.
Wow.
3. It's going to be the square root of that number. Or this number down here. Don't worry, we'll keep doing it. That equals 13. Square root of both sides. Plus minus, you're done.
Wait, hold on.
Do we have to solve it out like all the way?
That's your answer. Anything less than that, you lose.
Okay. Can you do it the hard way?
Hold up.
Like right
Oh,
out the
plus or
formula?
minus.
That's how I usually do it. Yeah.
Like right out the formula.
Well, I mean, I just.
Oh,
You
okay,
lost
yeah.
me at the
I got
9.
it. No, you see.
When you wrote the problem, I just lost it.
Okay,
As soon as you wrote it, I was following.
so
I'm so confident.
this number is 6.
I mean, I got it.
Hey guys, hi, teacher. You guys paid big money to get that seat right here for this show. Not to hear yourself. You can hear yourself talk all day long. Just go in your room and just start talking and you can listen to yourself. But check it out. Number in front of the x was 6.
Oh, yeah.
Divide 6 by 2, you get
3.
3. 3 squared is 9. Add 9 to both sides. This becomes that divided by 2, which is 3. X plus 3 squared. If you don't believe me, multiply it out for yourself. X plus 3 times x plus 3 is x squared plus 6x plus 9. That's what it equals. So I'm not making this like huge jump where you're like, I have no clue where that squared came from. This is that. Why did I force you to memorize that formula over and over and over again? A plus b squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, because that's what that is. It was all in preparation for lesson 50. So in lesson 80, when I give you an equation that does this in like 2 seconds, you'll be like, oh man, that's great. But till then, you must suffer.
Fun. I'm already suffering with constant.
Okay, so problem number 1. There, that's,
Wait.
Andrew will help me with this.
it's gone. Okay, problem 2.
Okay, I'm just gonna go.
Okay, this one is designed to fool you.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, first step.
Hold up.
First
I
step.
started writing the wrong
Put the
one.
5 on the other side.
First step.
You're playing games.
5 on the
with me.
other side.
First step.
Oh,
what about-
organize the X.
Yeah. You need a.
X is on one side,
X.
numbers on the other side. Okay?
That's not.
What's the first step? Read it.
I was gonna
Read
put
it.
descending
No,
order.
read it. Read me the first step.
Put all the X's to one side.
He's telling me that's not the first step.
You're playing games with me right now. See, like one lesson you're saying this, and the next one you're
I
saying
know,
that.
it's true. All right, we are gonna put them in descending order because for every problem that we've done, we've had the x squared first, then the x, then the little box, right? We know we're gonna add something. This equals 5. What do I add to both sides? Process in your mind. When you have it, raise your hand. What do you add to both sides? 2 is not correct.
It's not true. It's not.
When you're raising 2 fingers,
We'll get
so I
that.
assume. 5 is not correct. What part of raise your hand, man? You are.
Oh, so you
I gave you 2 of them. All you gotta do is
I
raise
was
one.
doing this.
That's
I
it.
raised my hand and he's like, oh, that's not right, so I'm doing this.
Why wasn't?
Okay, class, everyone together. What do we add to both sides?
1.
1. How did you get 1? Because you take this number, divide it by 2, and square it. That gets you 1. So, what does this become? Remember, you're thinking of that formula. If you don't want to think of that formula, just think of this number divided by 2. X plus 1. How do we undo squared? You take the
Square root. of
Square
both
root.
sides.
x plus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 6. So x equals negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 6. Are we bothered that the square root of 6 is there?
No.
No, who cares? It's a number. It's just an ugly number, so we don't solve for it. Yes.
Ew.
On the other ones, you didn't put the
Yeah, I think I
square
got
root,
the
you just put plus or minus.
No, I put the square root every time. That's one of the steps. You have to take the square root of both sides. Back row, chill out. Thank you, or you will soon become the front row. Yes.
So on the other one, it says negative 3 plus or minus 13. Do we add the house to 13?
The square root? Yep. This is the square root of 13. All right. Next one.
Number 3.
Number 3. Man,